Guys, welcome to our Saturday night thrift haul. We go live every Saturday night at 8:30 Mountain Time, and we show you the junk that we purchased throughout the week. We tell you what we paid for it, what we're going to sell it for, and everything goes live on our website at JamiRayVintage.com under Saturday Thrift Haul. This thrift haul is during the day, as you can tell by the light that is coming into our kitchen because we're on vacation with our kids.
Yeah, we're off in California, but we pre-recorded this, so you know we're gonna get some good painting in. I got my paint shirt on, we're ready to go.
We're super excited for this week. There's some fun, interesting finds, kind of a collective situation happening here. Caitlin is on answering your live questions and dropping links. If there's anything you can't find, please let us know. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. Why don't you show them the first item up for this?
So this is gonna get painted, maybe do a stencil on the front. We'll see how that ends up.
I wanna do it like a light color, and then I wanna do a stencil offset over to the side.
It's gonna be $24.95 when it's all done.
I love baskets that you can like open and shut, and it's got a good lid on it. It's kind of fun.
So I thought it might have a wire frame because it's very sturdy, but it's got like wood twigs inside. Like, I don't know, is twig the right word? They're like dowels. Yeah,
it's really cool. Some of the finish is coming off, so I think it's a perfect candidate for painting.
Might be one of the cooler finds that we picked up. This is the bottom because it's got little feet on here. And I'm assuming it's just like an organizer for something went back in here that they like dropped in that had a pointy bottom. I don't know what.
A pointy bottom?
Yeah, look, it's like all...
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it was like some sort of display item. I actually think it'd be cute to do like this and put like bottles in or whatever. So I'm actually gonna take these little plasticky things off and I'm gonna paint top, bottom, inside. That way, whichever direction it's displayed, it's good. And I'm thinking like a dark base with a chippy milk paint, maybe an industrial type stencil in the front, but I'm not sure because I want to make sure that if people lay it on its back or upright, it looks good either way, so we'll see.
This was $3 and we're selling it for $28.95.
Woo-hoo! And it's solid wood. Whoever made it did a really good job.
Yeah, I like it. I like the design on it too.
We have one picture frame here. That we're going to print out something really cool. Zeb recently bought a very large, expensive printer. And so every time we find frames, we're gonna print out some really great art to put in them. It'll get painted, maybe some IOD molds is what I was thinking, and it will be $24.95, and we paid $2 for the frame. I'm hoping that this new printer winds up working out well, because my thought is these frames are so easy to thrift, they're so ugly, nobody wants them, and so they're the perfect opportunity for us to like give them a makeover.
Let me bring it close. It's got like this faux distress paint job that's pretty reminiscent of like the mid 90s and late 80s, where they basically like spritzed it with paint, and it's not great, and we got to get the tape off of there too, like the goopy tape.
It'll be good. So that's my plan for that one. This one, we found this really cool frame with a picture of Jesus in it. It'll be $29.95. Luckily for us, the picture should come out easy, so we can do a really fun paint finish on the frame and zhuzh it up. And obviously the picture inside is going to stay. I love having pictures like this around the shop. Our shop used to be a church, so people come in and they do like to buy things like this. And so we have a big one, but we don't have any small ones.
There's not glass in here. It's like on like a, I don't know what kind of wood it is.
Are you scratching Jesus' face right now?
I'm just, you know, he had an itch.
Yeah, it's just got a finish on it. There's not glass in it, but it is pretty cool.
Then the paint job, the frame is too dark for that. Like it needs brightened up.
It needs a little light. Like spring is coming in the shop, so I want to lighten it. I want to lighten the load on that frame. All right, just a cute little bohemian basket. Very pretty, would be like good on the wall with maybe some floral inside of it, or just as is. Or you could just set it with like, if you wanted to put it on your coffee table for your remotes, it's about the right size.
Sprinkle a little potpourri in there.
I think that would not be a good idea.
He does not like potpourri.
Well, yeah, but what do you think?
Like the way it smells.
Where do you think the potpourri is gonna go?
Well, you get the big stuff like the pine cones and the oranges.
Or you can put your remote control in here. I wouldn't do anything super heavy or pointy just because it is a very delicately woven basket. It was $1. We're selling it for $11.95.
I don't know. If you guys want to see like really good close-ups, you can hit up the website and check them out. All the listings are there under the Thrift Haul collection.
So this is the basket that we're going to be taking some drop cloth.
That's the one.
some drop cloth on. Well, we'll see if you edit that out or leave it in, but this is the one getting drop cloth and a stencil. I'm gonna leave it the way it is because the basket is a really great finish. It's matte, not shiny, which I love. And then we'll just decoupage on a stenciled label and it's gonna look like a French country basket. $2 and it'll be $26.95 once we French country it up.
I love that around the top and all the handles and things, there's little nails in this, it's bent wood is what it is, and then the bottom is a solid piece of wood too.
Yeah, a delicately assembled basket. It's gonna be cute. Next up, this is like that, this was very popular in what, like the 2010, 2012, like this Moroccan tile thing. I don't hate the shape. I think it's rather boring. So my plan is that we're gonna paint it and then I'm gonna have you put a backer and we're gonna decoupage the backer. So this works, like basically goes from just being like wall art to a frame for art.
It's all just crafting supplies down there at the thrift store for us.
Everything is, you know, they say everything, that one song, everything is content. For me, everything is craft supplies. It was $2, and once we add a back to it and decoupage it and paint it, it'll be $28.95.
And this gray is not actually, they like sanded the grid. The back is painted better than the front. It's like they tried to distress it and bring the wood grain through a little.
No,
that's going away.
I feel like that's fake. Is it?
Maybe. You might be fake. Might be sprayed on wood grain.
It ain't gonna look like that when I'm done with it, so. All right, next up, I'm actually not painting this frame because I kind of like the vintage vibe going.
And we're leaving the girl in there too, right?
Yep, and it is a wooden frame, not resin, and the girl is actually just still wrapped in plastic, and I'm gonna leave it that way so that way when you get it, you can unwrap it and re-put it in or use it for something else, whatever you choose, because I feel like that's helping protect it.
Well, it was an older frame and someone came through and put this picture on it.
And it still has the sticker on it. So you'll definitely want to take that off, take the plastic off, put it back in. I think that would look better. It was $3 and it's gonna be $29.95.
See if I can get it without the glare on it.
I just love it because it's got a really good gold patina and it is actually wood and it's not like that cheap resiny plastic stuff.
There we go.
I'm all for the actual wood frames. This is an interesting combo.
Tell them about this. Jami, I don't want to use the word harass, but she usually harasses me about my weird animal finds at the thrift store, and I paint them up and they look cool and they sell right away. With the exception of the big giraffe, but the big giraffe is very large and needs like a special piece. It needs a special place.
People like you. And so they like the stuff you paint.
I don't know about all that, but the llama is cool, and llamas have been cool for a while. Eliza used to have like a whole llama room. Her friend has a whole llama room. It's a thing, but perfect for a little potted plant or succulent, and gonna brighten this one up too. I think it's just plaster. It was $1, and once Zeb does his magic, it'll be $13.95. But Jami put this in my cart. I did not grab it. I actually passed this twice.
I mean, what thrift haul is complete without a Zeb animal? A Zanimal. Okay, cute little bell here. It's actually, you'll have to go online to see it. There's no way you're gonna see it on this, but it says congratulations. I mean, maybe I can get it to zoom. And it's hand carved in. It was $1 and we're selling it for $9.95. And it's just a vintage brass bell. We have a whole little collection of bells in the shop. They're pretty good little sellers for us. And I just thought this one was fun, especially because it was brass and hand carved. There we go. Got most of it to go on there. It is a good little bell. I like the shape on it a lot. You could even hang this off of like one of the sheep or buttercup. It would be fine. Yeah, but then they'd be like ding, 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 ding. They're all over the yard. All right, so this was $1.50. It's just like a metal galvanized tray. You probably see them at home decor stores. I do like the brass handles. We're going to paint it up. And then I'm gonna get 3 canning jars from my collection and put them in here so that way you could use it for floral. So when I see things like this, in and of itself, it's not that great, but it is a really good tray to hold some fun canning jars. And we happen to have a whole ton of them. Yes, lots. So I'll find 3 that fit in here, paint this up, and it'll be $24.95. Well, someone's already used it as a planter. You can see where the water sat down in the bottom. So it's already got the good patina. Well, it's gonna get a good paint job, though. It's fine. It'll come, all right? It comes back through.
It always comes back around.
This one is not priced, so it might not be in the haul, but that's okay. We'll set it aside. It's just a really cool metal candlestick. It's got like a wood center. It'll be painted. It was $1 and it'll be $9.95.
Okay, I'll try to remember that.
Remind me to make sure this gets in the collection. Normally, we're live, but now we got a minute, so I'll make sure this is, by the time you see this, this will be in there.
All right, so this little guy here, online we found them anywhere from like $30 to $130. This one's in really good shape. There's no chips on it. It says California, USA, Maurice Ceramics, and then WD-34 is the model number. But we found a lot of the ones we saw were darker painted. This one was $3. It's going to be $69.95, and we're not painting it or doing anything.
The people that love this would not want it painted. So it's got a cute vintage squirrel, mushrooms on the side, a snail. In case you didn't know, with the new IOD release, mushrooms, snails, woodland animals are all the rage, and finding something original in good condition is just few and far between. I actually buckled this into the car, and it was good that I did, because what did you do on the way home?
I had to hit the brakes pretty hard because someone turned right in front of us.
So I was glad that I buckled in my cookie jar, because these are hard to
The rest
find.
of the thrift haul went rolling forward in the car.
Yeah, and the coloration on this one is really good. So we paid $3 and it's gonna be $69.95. I didn't know if you told them that already.
I did.
Okay.
But it's okay.
I'll tell them again. We're gonna move. We have lots of little things in this haul.
Yeah.
A smalls haul. All right. Let's do all these and then we'll do the big stuff.
Okay, while you tell them about that, I'm gonna start taking these tassels off because...
So we should probably ship them with them in case they want them.
Okay.
Because some people do want them for other crafting ventures. It's missing some, these are missing some of the...
It's missing like half of them.
Crystals. They're brass candlesticks. What's the price on those?
24, they were $1 each. We're selling them for $24.95.
They are so good. I never find candlesticks like this that are actually brass that are anywhere near this price. Like, that was a phenomenal deal. And actually, I don't know if you know this, but people sell just these crystals. Because are these glass?
I don't think these are glass. I think they're plastic.
They don't feel like cheap plastic. I don't know, but anyways, they're vintage.
You're right. I think
they feel like glass.
They feel like they're cut glass.
Yeah, people will sell just these or make earrings out of them or whatever. So we're gonna send all the crystals with them.
They were just cloudy, probably from being dusty in a garage. They're shining up really good.
Yeah, these are actual crystals like you would find on a chandelier.
Okay.
That's why you don't just...
Oh, yeah, it is crystal. It's got the prisms and everything.
Aren't they pretty?
Sure.
$29.95. Seb's like, sure. I mean, you could see some earrings.
I mean, maybe Eliza would want them. She just ordered like...
She can...
You should tell them what she told us last night.
So she's getting ready for summer. Eliza is very much like the opposite. I like clothes and fashion, but it's not like the highlight of my life. Eliza loves clothes, fashion, jewelry. Like, her and Debbie are two peas in a pod. And yesterday I asked her if she could do something, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, okay, can you help me do this? And she
goes, no, I'm busy.
She was eating at the time, and she literally looked over at you and she's like, no, I'm busy. I can't.
I was like, well, what are you busy doing? She's like, I have to make jewelry for my summer outfits.
That was a response.
Okay, whose child are you?
And she's like, no, legit, I was planning it all through church today. I'm like, that's what you're doing at church?
In her brain, you know, she's crafty. She just does different crafts. So she loves jewelry, and she just bought an entire like bag of random jewelry from Amazon that she's gonna upcycle, makeover, whatever. I don't know. That girl is funny. So she would love those, but those are going with the candlestick.
Yes, you can't have those.
So for $29.95, you get all the crystals that they came with.
$24.95.
$24.95?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Hold on.
Hold on, hold please.
1, 4.
Yeah, that's a 4.
I can't read your writing. Any length. $24.95, and you get both of those and the crystals.
I mean, maybe it's 29. I don't know, but I think it's a 4. I'm
gonna look it up.
4.
You show them that little creamer there.
All right, Mikasa. This is the F9000, made in Japan. Just a fun little creamer. It's got I like that it's tall. Most creamers are short and squatty. I was right.
But your writing was wrong.
My writing is a 4 too. This, I don't know what the price, oh, it was $1. Here the price is. I couldn't find it doing it. It's gonna be $13.95.
Yep, it's a Mikasa, and I found those about 20 bucks and up, depending on where you buy them. So I just love white creamers. So a lot of times when we're thrifting, we have zero clue. It's funny because I was thinking about staging it like that, but we have zero clue what their value is, except for that the price is good and we like the style. Then we come home and 9 times out of 10 we find out that they are valuable. So it's fun.
Yeah, and a lot of times, even if they're not, we're like, yeah, that goes with what we want the shop to look like, so we grab it anyway. Little rooster, we could not find the pepper shaker. This is a salt shaker, so it's not gonna get painted. It does need a pretty good scrub. We've got some kitchen fur, as we like to call it, a little grease, little dust, all mixed in together. But it's gonna get a solid cleanup. And the nice thing about this is, a lot of times you find these at the thrift stores and they're missing their stopper. This stopper is still in good shape. Even sometimes when you find them, like the rubber's all hard and cracking.
And it's $9.95.
This is good to go.
I actually think it would be cute just for decor. And you could paint it up if you wanted to, but I liked the simple white, so I decided to leave it. Okay, show them. I don't know what that's made of. I just put metal candlestick. It may be pewter, but I don't think so.
No, I think it's like some sort of tin, and you know, it's just regular metal. It's
$1 and we're going to sell it for, is that $12.95?
No, that's an $8.
$8.95.
Yes, after we clean it up. It's got some goopy stuff and some wax all on it.
I just like that style candlestick because you can put like a candle on it, but then you can also just use it in a vignette for like a display just like you did. Like that'd be so cute together.
Or, you know, we have these lovely pears that would also look fun on there.
Pair them together?
Yes, you could. Oh, how good is that?
Oh my gosh, you're like a decorating ninja.
So these pears were $1 each, and we're selling them for $4.95 each.
They also had some grapes that you guys will be surprised that I left behind.
Shocker.
I took the pears and I bounced. All right, this is another one that I don't believe has a price on it. It was $1, it'll get painted and it'll be $9.95. It's a turned wooden candlestick. I love the big fat base on it. It's like great for keeping it from falling over, but also just stylistically it's cool. So I'm gonna put this in the Jamie needs to remember to get those on the website.
Tell them about your little angel with the heart.
So I'm pretty sure she lights up, but I did not put that in the, and it has a timer too, so it doesn't stay on forever.
Can't confirm. It needs 3 AAA batteries, which we didn't put in there.
So we'll try it later. I didn't put that it actually worked because I didn't know, but it's like this cheapy plastic. So I'm gonna make it look more like stone, and then it'll be $19.95. And I think it was like $1 or $2. And I will see if I can get it to light up. If I can get it to light up, it's still gonna be $19.95 either way. I just bought it because I like the shape. Okay, next up, smoky Federal glass cookie candy dish situation. Not make candy dish. It was $1 and it's gonna be $9.95.
At your tea party.
It could be cheese if you're on keto. I don't really see any chips, but there could be some little baby chips around the edge. It's always really hard to tell. But I just loved the color and shape of it. I like to buy anything with ruffles. Again, when I bought it, I didn't know it was Federal glass. I just was like, that's pretty. So it's gonna be $9.95. All right, next up, white crock. Gonna need a clean situation.
Also has some kitchen fur. It
was clearly used like a utensil holder in a kitchen next to the stove, so we'll clean it up. I think that would be a great use for it again. We paid $1.50 and it will be $14.95.
How much was this one? Oh, it's got a little, these have a couple little chips and dings.
These are getting painted to match.
Okay.
So
all
the
three
trio
of these?
is $39.95.
Okay, I didn't see those in the thrift store, the little chippies, but that's fine.
Once we paint them, it'll be cool.
It's just character.
It's character building.
So this one was $3, this one was $3, this one was $2, winning.
Yeah, that's nice. And that's Fitz and Floyd. And somebody actually did a fairly decent job painting it. They just didn't it needed a little gold or something. So we're gonna paint them all to match and they'll be $39.95. And this set is not going pink. I had a pink set. These ones will probably go like blue, white, and gold because I think that combination will be pretty. All right, next up, This was $1. It's just a little like piece of wood with a hanger and a cast iron hook, and it'll be $9.95 as is. Just cute for like hanging. I actually love things like this for aprons, because you don't need a lot of hooks unless you have a million aprons. But if you just have like 1 or 2 kitchen aprons, something like this is great on the wall to hold your kitchen aprons.
Look at this little topiary on this little candlestick. It looks like a tree next to the mini barn. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see. The mini barn is super cool.
I love how excited you are for our mini barn and tree candlestick situation.
I love barns and I love trees, so this is...
They're not a set. You'll have to buy them individually, but Zeb has made a new vignette here.
All right, so this was $1. We're selling it for $10.95. These little topiaries are great. Check out how detailed this is. This is
miniatures
like
are always popular. My favorite is that there's a skylight and bird's nest in there.
Yeah, and like some baskets that actually jiggle around. And then just all the little details on there. This says feed, this says the coop, home for birds. It says it on both sides. It's just great. This was $3 and we're selling it for $22.95. Not gonna paint it, not gonna do anything to it. If you don't end up getting the topiary with the barn, because this is probably going to sell fast before we even show this in here, just know that you can do this with a little bit of greenery and like one of these candlesticks.
Yeah, you can find another. Boom, done. Ta-da! Yeah, and the little bird's nest with the eggs in it is super cute. Oh, you know what? This needs more glue.
Does it need some glue?
Yeah, we'll put a little spot of glue on that.
All right.
So that nest doesn't get lost. Okay, next up, let's do I want to do all this stuff.
All the 10 at once?
The little stuff. And then we'll move over the big stuff and your nativity.
We just need like 3 things and the grain sacks. And then we're on to painting. Painting's coming soon.
Okay, so cute little ice cream cone shaped, what are these, like wall pockets?
Yeah.
And I want to put just IOD on the front of them and give them a fun new paint job. They were $1 each, and I'm selling them for $16.95 each once they get finished.
All right, let me show you these lamps really fast.
Okay.
The reason, oh, sorry, you were showing all those together. The tin, show them, show them.
All right, this is $1.50. It really doesn't look like much. I don't even know that it's gonna look like much on camera, but it has pressed tin detail. So once it's painted and I either wax it or distress it or dry brush it, one of those things, it's going to bring out all that detail. It was $1.50 and it's gonna be $18.95. And I think super cute for like canning jars or like a set of candles or whatever. Like there's just, I love a good tray.
Well, and it looks like they were trying to go for some two-tone at the factory, but it's like a dark burgundy on a darker burgundy, and it's hard to even see it unless you catch the light just right.
Your spray on dark China, it's not good if you're listening, because I'm sure that's where this was made.
We love to, you know, add some light to these darker pieces, or if it's light, we'll add some dark to it and then bring that all through.
We like to call it made in China, painted in Lehi, Utah.
Yeah. All right, so this, can you guys see the topper on this one? And then this one too. So these two here were on, this one was on this lamp.
No.
Oh, this one over here was on this lamp.
Yep.
And this one was on that lamp. And Jamie's like, well, I need all the things. And we get up to the front and she's like, well, I'm buying all the lamps because I need to swap these little finials on the top.
Well, this brass finial didn't match this, and that's what was on the match set. And I loved the shape. Like the bottom of these lamps is bomb. Like it doesn't look great now because you can't see the detail, but we'll bring that out when we paint it. And then there happened to be this random lamp with the perfect little, exactly same shaped, symmetrical, everything, round top. So I just decided that this lamp will get this brass topper and repainted, and then the topper that was on this is now gonna go on that. So that way when I texturize that, they'll match. Once they're painted, you'll never know that they weren't the same.
Well, and the manager at the thrift store was like, here, let's swap that out now. You don't have to buy that extra lamp. And he's like, we can just swap that out. You should have already swapped it out back. So
yeah, we have the best, like, one of our favorite.
I feel like people get real oh, you can't swap that out. They're trying to sell it at the thrift store. The thrift store's like, yeah, swap it out. We swapped it out in the back.
Or we don't, like, they don't care. Like, they just want to sell as much stuff as possible. I think there's different types of thrift stores. Like, there's the kinds where they would care if you missed it.
Yeah, well, they've got everything curated and they have like a look, like they've taken some time to kind of set it out.
They don't want you mixing and matching, or they price it accordingly.
They're like a boutique type thrift store.
Our thrift store wants to sell as much stuff as humanly possible because they do a ton of job rehabilitation, and so the money is actually more helpful because they can pay their staff and train them and rehabilitate them, which is their main goal, and not necessarily to have the most junk in their shop, because we just get tons of donations. So he was like, yeah, you can go ahead and not buy this, but I love the shape of this. I don't love the finish. It's weird because it's like,
it's got that 80s speckly spray.
Yeah, and it's like carved wood almost. So I just think it would look better with a non-speckle paint finish. So this will get a new paint finish, be sold as is. It was $5. It'll be $89.95.
As is, meaning we're not going to put a shade on it.
Yeah, and I'm not like getting a pair and I'm going to leave this on top. I probably will paint this to match it, but it'll be $89.95 for this lamp.
And then these ones will be $269, I think is the price.
$269.95,
yeah.
And they were $10 each, and they will get a pretty special paint finish. We usually do multiple layers, lots of colored waxes. The last set that we did was larger, but we sold for $400, and it actually sold locally before we even listed them because it wasn't part of the thrift haul. It was just something I painted. So super excited to do another matching lamp set.
But yeah, check with your thrift store if you've got a place you go on the regular. Like we know all the cashiers and things at all our thrift stores and talk to them frequently, and the managers and stuff, and just chit chat as we're checking out. And they don't really care if we're mixing and matching, but just make sure that that's the case at yours.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want somebody coming in my shop mixing and matching. So if I were to mix and match like that without buying this extra lamp, I would have asked the manager, hey, is this okay? And if they approved it, then I'd do it. I just feel like it's always polite to ask. Okay, show them. Somebody has tried to paint this. They just didn't finish it.
They didn't get they didn't go all the way. They got like one coat of green paint on here. It was like a dark blue before. This is a little broken, and Jami doesn't like it anyway. She says it looks like a weird, like,
it looks like a wavy slide.
Wavy slide that you see at the park or whatever. So I will take, some of these have already broken off, but I don't want to bend it all up. So I'm going to take a grinder and these are just little tack welds on the bottom. And then this will just be short. And we might even mount it on like turned piece of wood or something before.
Well, my thought was wood base, then we'll construction adhesive it onto the base, then do IOD around the edge in case there's kind of like something unsightly we don't want to see, and then we're going to paint it all to match like architectural detail.
Yeah.
And I think it'll look a lot better. I feel like that probably was the top to something. And even if we painted it really cool, it's always just going to look like it's missing something.
It probably looked pretty good when it had all of its pieces together, because this was probably some large outdoor planter or something meant for like vines to grow up out of this, or ivy or something. Yeah,
but we're going to get rid of the wavy playground slides and add a new base to it, and it'll be cool. And it was $5, and once we do all that, it'll be $69.95. Okay. We just have your nativity and then these coffee stacks.
All right, so all year round, I buy nativities.
It's a true story. He has a nativity hoard in a basket at the shop.
And if you watch the video, you might have seen this. We have video out earlier this week that shows that. But I loved the size and the detail on this nativity. There are, like, this wise man has a little break on his crown. What I might do, and baby Jesus is not matching either. He's like porcelain and shiny. So gonna paint this whole set to match.
And somebody said if they're the ones from Costco, they're worth a lot as replacements. There's a price tag on the bottom, and we do not believe the price tag, we know it's not a Costco tag because we shop there enough. Yeah. So we don't believe this is a Costco set unless somebody bought it at Costco, then retagged it. So we're going to go ahead and repaint it all, make a new set, and then it'll be, I think we paid like $5.
Let's see, I put it on one of the feet. So this one was $5. Some of them were bigger, or the bigger ones were more. The smaller ones were $2.
How much was that one?
So this was $5.
Okay, so now we're at 12.
2, so 14. And then 2. I don't know why this guy was 2.
16, and then 5. Jesus probably, well, I don't know, does he even still have a tag?
Doesn't have a tag, but I usually don't pay more than $1 for them this size.
So like probably, I would say $13 or $14 for the set. So usually we sell these sets for about $50 to $60, but this is a large set, I think 11.5 inches, the tallest Wiseman. So we're gonna sell a set for $99.95, and it's gonna get a complete new look. It's gonna look more like stone. I know some people like the traditional look, which is fine, but when we find them chipped, we just feel like painting them gives them new life and saves something that would otherwise be thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple little dings on the back of her, what would you call this?
Veil.
Her veil. So, you know, they need painted. They need painted. I wish maybe we'll find the actual baby Jesus and some animals as they bring more things out at the thrift store, but who knows?
You never know. So anyways, well, they're still chipped. So the last thing we're gonna do is show you guys, these are actually just from when we went to England last fall.
We had them in the basement and I brought them up and they didn't make it in.
Zeb is not the only one who has not listed all of his items, but you still have more brass.
I do have more brass to list, but I got the music books out there.
These are actually coffee sacks. I paid a few, 2-3 euro for, or not euro, pounds for them because we're in England. In Tenterden, there's a coffee shop that we like to go to across from the British Heart Foundation. British Heart Foundation, and I buy these from them. I love them because of the cool artwork, but I also love that they oh, I didn't realize that was on the other side.
Yeah, this is on the back of all of them.
I'll change the listing. So there's only 2 styles. I thought that there were 3, but never mind. Anyways, they're $16.95 each, and I love to buy things like this when we are traveling because it's great for resale, but also I use these as packing material, so it's better than like using paper or styrofoam or anything like that that's not necessarily green. So anytime I can find good linens or soft goods that I can use as packing materials, I always buy them when I'm traveling.
So got a fun blue stripe going down the middle of it.
Yeah, we only have one of those, and that one's probably my favorite. But what you can use these for is you can frame them, use them as artwork. People use them for pillows. You can also use them for upholstery. I do suggest if you use them for upholstery that you wash them and use fabric softener to soften them. And then I like to, because you can kind of see through the coffee sack, I like to put a drop cloth down first, then the coffee sack. They're also super cute if you don't want the scratchy on your bum. If it's like a seat that has a back, like a Queen Anne chair or a wing back, they're really cute. We've used them also, we did that one couch, remember, and we put them on the sides. So there's lots of different ways you can use them for upholstery that you're not actually like sitting on.
So we have, what are there, 6 here?
5?
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right, 5.
I know because I listed them, but I let you count them anyways because you're cute.
All right, sure.
All right, next up, because this isn't live, we're actually gonna get some painting projects done. So we're gonna turn the camera off, get it set up for painting. We won't do all of them, obviously, but we're gonna do a few of them and show you how they turn out. All right, the magic of not actually being live is that we turned the camera off, we got set up, and now we are getting started. Zeb picked his projects. Tell him what you're working on.
I'm gonna do these 3 candlesticks and the llama. We're gonna do some salt wash on this, and then these are going blue like Jamie mentioned.
I'm going to be doing the mold work. I was just gonna do the frame, but I wanna get a mold on each of these, so I decided to do that as well. And I'm using the new Dewdrop mold because I want to get the dragonfly and put it on each of these. And then I am using the Monarch mold, which is an older IOD mold, to put some butterflies on this frame because Zeb printed me out a really cute piece of butterfly art that I'm gonna put in there. So I'm gonna get started. When you're using paper clay, you want to dust your molds with cornstarch. So that way they're easily released, because if you don't, then the clay will stick and you will lose some of the detail. I'm actually a huge fan of paper clay. We've been out at home, which is why we haven't used it recently.
We have some, it's just all dried out over there because
we didn't get a baggie
put it
for
in
it.
a baggie quick enough.
And so we've been using a lot of resin subsequently. Anyways, sometimes I like paper clay better. I feel like it's definitely easy to use.
Paint over there. I was all ready to go and I left the paint over there.
At least easier for me because I don't have to mix it up. Do have to be a little bit more delicate with it when you paint it because it takes a while to set up.
All right, so I've got Skeleton Key and Old School. Old School is actually like a pretty dark gray, but when paired with a lighter blue color, it looks really blue, like a dark, dark navy. But So big heaping scoop, just a spoonful of this of the salt wash. That's what this is the salt wash. It's a paint additive that doesn't change the color or the adhesion properties of your paint, but it gives it a lot of texture. You can really build and cover up some things too. Like if we have a repair we do, it dries rock hard with this DIY paint and just works really good for texture.
It's just a really fun way to add an old world look quick, because old world paint finishes are all about layers and texture. Some of my favorite patina artists always start with a layer of salt wash on pretty much everything that they paint. So it is a good way to get started with that. Okay, I'm just gonna use the back of this to pull out. I got one dragonfly done. I will show you these up close, or I'll have Zeb do it. I'm actually a little dizzy today. And so I will glue these on and I'll have Zeb show them to you.
Dizzy is back.
I know. Yay me.
I think it's just the way she's sleeping.
I've always slept that way.
Well, you might have to stop. All right, llama is getting a healthy coat of this just to get the shine off. If we have something really shiny, we love to paint it with this salt wash texture because it adheres so well.
You can also use, if you don't want texture and you need it to adhere well, you can use DIY Salvation Solution if you've got something super slick. Or be super patient, because the clay paint will stick eventually, but it takes so long to cure and you don't want to pull it off when you're painting different layers. So, little disclaimer situation.
And you can brush it on. I'm just stippling and then I might smooth it out. I do like to do that because it gives like a fun, almost like a brushed cement look when you do that, but it's easy to apply it by stippling.
I love the micro rim on the molds. It makes it so much easier to get a clean impression. It's probably easier when you're pouring resin too. Kind of gives it a lip to.
Yeah, it's nice if you over pour, which I often do. It just runs over the edge and then you have like a really thin little piece that you just have to break off when you demold it.
Or you can stop, like when you get to the top, you know, like it doesn't just roll over.
Can you stop though?
I don't know, because I don't really pour resin that often. I always make you do that.
All right. Just make sure I get under the chin. Okay, llama has the first coat. We're gonna set that aside so it can dry. And I might, missed a whole spot on the back here.
I should have put more, oh yeah, I'm gonna redo that. This is really, really detailed and I should have put more cornstarch in it because it did not demold really, yeah. It was like grabbing onto the.
I may have to wait until this is dry, or at least enough that I can handle it, and then I'll paint the bottom.
You don't want to pull the paint off.
I'm just using my brush to kind of spin it around.
Yeah, this dragonfly has a lot of delicate details and it goes in a bunch of different directions because you've got the little head, you've got the little tail, so you definitely want to use cornstarch to help get it out of the mold.
Okay, let me see if I can set this aside. I can. All right, since I've already got some salt wash loaded up, I think I'm just gonna use that as like a base layer for these. And I might have to just add some regular paint, but we're just getting such great coverage.
Such great coverage.
It's like one coat and done when you add the salt wash.
Well, it really, because there's clay, so much clay in the DIY paint, just blends well. All right, I'm getting this nice and put in here. When you use different pieces, you want to make sure you really mush them down into the mold. It'll keep you from getting like lines.
Are you putting those on your frame?
No, they're getting put on this. My frame I'm doing with butterflies next, in a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna do one project at a time. I know you're shocked.
I am a little surprised.
Okay, let's see if I can get this out of here. Oh yeah, so much easier. It's just kind of like, oh, my tail broke. It's all right, I'll glue it together.
You can glue it back on?
Yep.
That's where the resin's nice on these really finely detailed ones. It picks those details up really well. and it's a lot stronger than the air dry clay. Initially, I mean, they both have their uses, right? Like this is gonna mold and wrap around.
Did you get me the construction adhesive?
I did, it's right here.
Okay.
I do need to pull the screw out of the front of it for you though. Okay. I need to get all my drills are over in the barn right now.
So you want to work with a paper clay while it's, or air dry clay, sorry, I always call it the wrong name. Air dry clay from IOD, you want to work with it while it's still wet. You don't want to let it all the way dry. I'm going to be able to put this on here how I want, and then I'll glue it down. I'll set it aside for just a minute so it gets a crust on the top, and then I'll paint it. And I've got to do the butterflies on that frame, so it'll work.
Hold please.
Hold please.
I don't think I could have picked a longer screw for this. I needed just a little one to go down in, and this one's like 1.5 inches long.
That's why people keep sending us like options besides that, because they're tired of waiting on us to.
They're like, is he gonna ever get that screw out of there?
So we use construction adhesive. You can also use Type On 2, quick and thick. This also comes in a little tube if you don't want to use a giant gun. It is a little bit difficult to squeeze out, in my opinion. I don't have a lot of hand strength.
Well, I have like a small, very small opening on the top.
Well, that's good because I don't want, like, especially on my molds, I don't want a ton on there. I am making a huge mess over here in case anybody was wondering. It's fine.
So what's your plan with this? Because you had the vision, I'm just painting it. Did you want me to two-tone these, or are we gonna do like some drippy like I like to do?
I was not gonna drippy.
No drippy, two-tone.
So it's gonna get a two-tone white dry brush and then gold on the details. That was my plan, but it's now your project, so.
Drippy it is. I'm kidding, I won't make it drippy.
I don't mind the drippy like on the other candlesticks, but I just feel like these are a little bit more formal, and so as such, they need a little bit more delicate hand. All right, I'm just making sure all the sides are down on this without over pushing it. And I've got my first dragonfly attached.
I'll bring you a close up in just a sec. It's probably hard to see on that white.
Yeah, it's not really gonna look like much for a hot minute. You can also, if you ever want to make a bunch of molds but you're not going to use them right away, you can freeze them and then let them come to room temp. So if you need to make a bunch, you could just make a whole sheet full, freeze them, and then come back. Because sometimes by the time you get all your molds made for a big project, you run out of time. I'm not one to put 8,000 molds on anything, but I have seen it done.
All right, I gotta hurry or else this isn't gonna be dry enough to get the two-tone on here. I might have to make a little more salt wash mixture up to do this big one.
Now I'm just gonna glue my tail on.
What molds are you doing molds on that frame too?
Yeah, I'm using the Monarch mold.
Oh.
Because I'm putting butterflies in it.
You're gonna do the butterflies in there? So the butterflies is one of our big decoupage papers. We're working on some fun new products. Seen here first.
I mean, this may not be one that we actually sell, but we're shrinking down some of our big stuff, trying it on smaller papers. So that's what I'm using. Okay, making sure that that's really well attached. Okay. 2. Next, butterflies. Now I have to think about the composition, how I want to do it. I think I want to just do like one big butterfly here with a smaller one and then some over there. You can hear my dog barking.
He's not in timeout. We just put him in the room so he didn't bark the whole time because it's daytime and he barks at everything that goes by the house.
That is true.
And no one puts baby in timeout. He's actually just up there like chilling in his cushy bed, but he can hear us down here. He's like, why am I in here if you're down there?
He likes to hang out with me. He's gonna have to get used to it because we're gonna be gone. My niece is coming, and I say niece, but she's like a grown woman, is coming.
She's 19 years old, isn't she?
Yeah. watch the...
It's like a year younger than Harrington.
The Nanimals. And to stay with my mom.
Yeah. I might be able to make this. It's gonna be close.
You get to repaint the door though.
Yeah, I can hear him scratching it.
I'm just gonna set this where I want it to go, and then that way I'll know exactly how many to make.
Oh, so much detail on the top of this. But I think we're good. Because this one already had a little bit of texture.
When I was buying this frame, like I was specifically thinking like there's so much surface area for molds. So a lot of people say like, how do you know what to buy? I look at things not as they are, but as they could be. And I'm looking like if I want to put mold or decoupage paper or whatever on something, I'm looking for flat areas that are void of anything and thinking, okay, those are great areas to add this extra detail.
All right.
You might need to go to the bathroom.
No, he hasn't been up there that long. I let him out right before I put him in there. He just can hear you and your mom going up and down the stairs doing laundry.
Okay, there's those two.
All right.
Do you ever talk to yourself and like, there's those? Do you have to like say it when I do it? And then mentally I'm like, okay,
I was watching Star Trek last night and Data was talking to himself, and then he realized he was talking to himself because he's an android character. And he's like, I was just talking to myself. And then he was telling the on-ship computer that he was talking to himself, and the computer was like, yeah, that's neat. Like he over-informed her. Or at least she has the computer has a female voice in Star Trek The Next Generation. It was cracking me up.
Zeb gives me a hard time for talking to myself, but he also talks to himself. It could be because we've been together for 20 years.
When I talk to myself when I'm doing construction math, because you know it's easy to get those cuts wrong if you're not like constantly reminding yourself. All right, I had enough salt wash. This is now empty. Got this all done. I'm gonna start taking the heat gun to a couple of these. I think I'll do the llama first.
I talk to myself when I need an expert opinion.
That's your mom's line.
I know, but it's funny. All right, we'll do these.
Oops, sorry. Oh, this face on this llama kind of looks like a cat. With a long nose.
Llamas have cat faces. Did you not know that? I've always thought that.
Luckily, those ones are already drying. This might be an extra long video, we'll see.
Well, maybe we could speed this part up.
But then it won't be like a true live stream where we paint stuff and then watch it dry.
Well, I also don't want to bore people to death. Usually I'm responding to questions.
Yeah, there is that.
Now I only have the questions in my mind.
So Cooper is coming with us to watch Nationals, Odelia Chair Nationals, and he's gonna be like, the kid's a trooper because he has to ride with us for 10 hours one way and 10 hours back because we're driving. But he looked up a Disney thrift store that just sells like discarded Disney stuff that's left in hotels and probably donated from local people there, or you know, sometimes you get back to the hotel and you're like, I'm not paying to fly this thing home, and you leave a few stuffed animals. Anyway, he's super excited about it, so we're gonna go hit that up while we're there. And we'll probably have a full day at the beach because Odelia, like we're gonna go watch Odelia, like all total, we might watch her cheer for 10 minutes I mean, we got to be there a little early, be in our seats, so we'll be there for a couple of hours, but that's all the longer it's going to take Odelia to do her cheer routine.
Yeah, they're only doing one routine, and there's the first time they do it and then finals. So yeah, it's not, and it's later in the day, so
ironically, like they're going against a lot of Utah schools that we've already competed against.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get this on here and then I'm gonna go rescue the dog. And my door.
And your door.
They just repainted it. And while I said you'll be in charge of repainting it because you're the one putting him in there, it's likely that I will be the one that repaints it.
Well, he had to be in there. He would have barked the whole video.
Maybe.
No, he would have.
He's a good dog.
I didn't see, he's doing his dog thing by barking, but not in my video. All right, I got the bottom painted there.
Okay, here are my IOD molds. Can you guys see the 3 little butterflies? And then we got the 2 over here. I'll paint this up and it'll look better once it's painted.
I'm gonna heat gun these 2. This, I don't know how I'm gonna finish this. Like maybe just a white dry brush to pick up some of that detail. I don't wanna wet distress it because I just finished it. It's super shiny, but I might do some white. Are you still mic'd up? You might get to hear her talking to the dog. It's a high chance.
Hi, puppy. Shh. No barking.
Careful, this is still wet. And here he comes. Little bouncing, you can't even see him. You can probably see Rex, but Cody's too short.
You guys wanna go outside? Okay, shh.
Oh, see, you can hear him now. All right, I think that's enough heat on that one. So are you gonna try to paint this while these are still this fresh?
Yeah.
All right, you better get to it.
But I think, I was gonna paint an aviary. What do you think?
I brought aviary. I think
but I wanna know your opinion.
Yeah, I think that'll be great.
I need you to take this off though.
Okay, I can do that. What, an actual screwdriver? It's the wrong kind, it's a Phillips instead of slotted, but it'll be fine. No kitchen screwdriver today. I still might use the scissors.
I'm super excited to paint this. I think this is gonna be cute. Like, it looks very disjointed now, but I'm excited to see it come together.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the tip of the scissors to open this. Don't worry, look away. Shh.
You should use a paint key, a paint can key.
We have like 20.
Somewhere. Don't send us any. People always tell us.
Yes, people are like, do you need me to send you a paint key? I'm like, I have them. I'm just too lazy to go grab them.
Aviary is such a great natural nature shade of green. And so when I'm doing botanicals or anything like this, I love to use this paint color. So I'm just gonna carefully paint my butterflies and make sure I shove paint underneath the edge. That's like the joy of the clay paint. So I would just do white linen if we have it and do a white dry brush.
On the candlesticks and the llama? I might have you do the dry brush and I might finish painting your frame.
Why?
Because you're very good at the dry brush. I'm too heavy-handed with the dry brush.
I am.
It does take some skill.
It's one of the very few things that I am a little bit better than you at, but it just takes practice. You could do it. There's nothing I do that you can't do.
But I prefer to just let you do it since you are already good at it.
Oh, I get it. Let's see.
I don't necessarily need the practice on that. I don't want to do it.
You can't do everything, is that what you're saying? I'm going to use that line on you because sometimes you're like, you know, you could do this.
I do a lot of things.
Yeah, but there's got to be something I'm good at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good at a lot of things.
You can heat gun this for me.
All right.
But be careful.
I'm excited to pop the smaller print in. I printed off all of these things, just practicing and testing different papers and stuff. Learning how to use the printer. And learning all the settings on my printer, and we haven't really used any of them. They're just sitting up there kind of a mess up by the desk. All right, that's enough heat gunning for now. For now.
For now.
All right, here, trade me seats.
But I'm not
I will paint I'll finish painting that.
Can you go get the white linen?
Yes.
What color do we want to do those little pockets? Do we want to do them the aviary too, or do we want to do them something else?
Do you need a brush for the white linen?
There's an extra brush right here.
I'm gonna get you some brush options just in case.
I
already have
there.
2 brushes. Okay, cottage color white linen.
Okay, you can finish painting this, and then before you heat gun this, I would set it aside and then do these pockets, but I just don't know if you want to do...
Do you want the pockets painted green as well?
Yeah, or you could do him skeleton key. Like, what do you think would work best with what I've got going on there?
I do like the skeleton key. Are you gonna do the 2-tone on the dragonflies?
Yes, so maybe skeleton key, but not with salt wash, because I don't want to salt wash that.
All right.
I'm not. You have kind of a mess.
I have 4 things going.
I know, I gotta have space to work. It feels so weird to be over on this side.
I know. I actually love that side because I'm right-handed, and so there's no one over there to bump.
You need to mix up your salt wash before you use, or salt wash. You need to mix up your cottage color before you...
Did you just use my screwdriver?
No.
There's like a spoon you could have used right there. That is not a throwaway screwdriver. That's a very nice one.
Well, I'm gonna wipe all the paint off of it, don't
There's
worry.
old crusty ones that have been used for multiple paint projects, and then there's that one.
Look at this. It's coming off. You always, because it has a built-in top coat, you gotta stir it.
It's fine. I will wash it after we do this.
I'm getting most of the paint off.
The one day I have a screwdriver, it's actually a Phillips. It's not even the right kind.
Look, it looks pretty good. It's got a little oxidation. It's like faux finished.
All right.
Okay. So when you're dry brushing, Zeb, I'm gonna give you a little lesson. You offload, just like you do when you're stenciling. And then you just easy breezy, light touch. Just dry brush across the piece.
I'm gonna heat gun this, even though you said to do something else, because I need to do a second coat.
Well, I was just gonna have you set it aside, do the other thing, then heat gun it, but you can do whatever. This kind of looks like the Death Star down here.
Shh, don't look away, don't look at that. Well, I can put more salt wash on there and cover that up.
No, it's fine. Once I dry brush it, it'll be better. I was just noticing it. If you guys don't watch Star Wars, then you won't know what the Death Star is.
I don't know that anyone
doesn't watch Star Wars?
Yeah, I think everyone's seen it at least once. There's probably very few people.
I hadn't seen it before we started dating, and that's... Cooper hadn't really watched all of them. No, never. I mean, I guess bits and pieces.
I was a little surprised by Cooper, but he likes Marvel stuff more.
I like to go light first, and then I like to shade more on as I make a decision, like, do I want more paint on there? Because you can always add more, but you can't take it, well, you can take it away. I just paint over it if I think I put too much on.
Are you gonna hit these flowers with some white?
Or you mean those butterflies?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. I'm gonna hit them with something, because you can't just leave them as is. I was actually thinking maybe white wax, but that probably won't happen on this video because with clay, I like to let it dry overnight.
Okay.
Because you really gotta work with it, and when it's fresh, I feel like it's hard to really like rub that wax off, you know?
Yeah.
That is the only downfall, but I mean, if you're not like in a marathon painting situation, it's not a big deal. You just come back the next day and it's ready to go. One done. Oops, I think I need more on the bottom. And when these are sealed up, that skeleton key is gonna get quite a bit darker, and then you'll get more of a contrast, which you're not getting as much right now.
Oh, you're gonna put, oh, never mind.
What?
Not the skeleton key. I was thinking old school. Like, you're gonna put some old school on there?
No. Choosing skeleton key and the white linen. I really love to dry brush with the white linen because it's like a nice bright white.
I had some weird goopiness over here, so I just scraped that off while it was still damp and repainted as I'm heat gunning here. All right, what color do you want these? I'm gonna set this aside to dry for a little bit. I pretty much got 2 coats.
What?
I did the touch-up coat as I was going around.
I was thinking, let's go ahead and do aviary on those 2.
Aviary on these as well?
Yeah, because I think when I do a white wax on them tomorrow.
Inside white?
Yes, can you paint it neat? I mean, if you can't paint it neat, then yes, you're gonna need to paint the inside, but I would like the contrast, if you could. Sometimes I mess up too, so it's fine. I love how like these were completely not matching, but now look.
It's a matching set.
Ta-da!
Because the paint job's the same.
Mm-hmm. They had like similar physiques, but not exactly the same. I've actually painted this style candlestick very much a lot because it's a Fitz and Floyd. It's a pretty popular candlestick. I've painted a lot of trios. The actual whole set, they're very large.
Oh yeah, some of those get, oh, there's still a sticker on the back of this. Some of those get very tall.
Okay, let me see. I feel like this needs a little bit more white.
These might need 2 coats as well. They're a little glossy.
A little shiny. Yeah, it happens. The shinier something is, the more coats you need for coverage. Just the way it is. Okay, so I'm gonna let these dry. I'll go grab the clear wax. Hopefully we have some. I thought I grabbed another container when I was at the shop the other day.
There was one in the car. I don't know if it got brought in. I didn't see it this morning.
It's right here.
Assuming it got brought in.
And then I also need the gold wax. That looks super cute in the aviary.
So I'm a little sad.
Why?
We're going to Disneyland, right? And the Splash Mountain ride, I think they're just redoing it to be something else. Like
yeah,
it'll probably still be
ride.
Splash Mountain-esque, but they're gonna re-theme it. But I think it's gonna be, it's gone. Like you can't get on it right now.
Yep, it's officially closed. They closed it a few weeks ago. Zeb, I cannot find the gold wax.
What wax?
The gold wax.
It'll be in the bottom.
So I was gonna put gold wax on these, but I've decided that I cannot find the gold wax, so I'm gonna.
Oh, do you need me to go run look for that? I know.
No, I'm gonna use copper patina. It's fine.
Okay.
Can you open it though?
For sure, gonna need 2 coats.
Okay.
Whoops, that wasn't neat.
It's all right. We could get it with like a washcloth later.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, round 2. You're going copper on those?
Yeah. The thing is that if we don't finish those, then how will people see the art inside?
The art inside of what?
Inside that.
Oh no, like that one's gonna get done in a minute.
I guess I'll have to paint the inside. You're missing a little spot.
And I told them we can go extra long and people can catch the replay in the morning if they're East Coast and they got sleepy.
All right, well, I'm coming in with golden ticket. I'm just hitting.
Because we kind of have right now to get these done.
Well, this is not going up till Saturday, and so we can finish them all.
Yeah.
Next week.
Next Monday.
Next Monday. We actually have to get this.
But we'll come home and we'll have 100 things to do because we've been gone.
That is absolutely the truth. So I'm just hitting a few spots with the copper patina here. Does it need copper patina? No, but maybe it does.
Everything needs copper patina. I love copper patina. All right. I think we're gonna leave these to dry. You'll have to watch for the finished pictures.
But you're gonna work on that frame.
But I am gonna finish the frame right now.
Well, those will look just like the frame. Unless you're not gonna do, are you gonna do like a white wash instead of a white wax so you don't have to push so hard?
Could do a white wash on here.
Dude, that's the only problem with waxing is you just can't buff it.
All right, I'll do a white wash. That'll be fast.
I might have to clear wax and dark wax these,
Missed
but
the
I'm liking
whole
them.
side over here.
What?
I'm sure
It's always
there's been
faster.
people yelling at me the whole time. You missed the side.
It's always faster for me when I know what I'm painting. Because when I'm doing like the first candlestick, I don't know what details I want to do. And the second one, I'm like, oh yeah, I got that.
So this is aviary. We've used it a ton for a long time, especially like last summer leading into fall, but it's been a little bit since we've used it. I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's actually one of the colors that we got to pick and name with DIY paint, the last release they've had. It's been a while. It's already been 2 years, over 2 years.
Yeah.
Like 2 years it'll be 3 years in September since the new paints came out.
It's a good like natural cottagey farmhousey green. And now everybody paints their kitchen cabinets that color.
Yep. All right, time for the wash.
I want the record to show I picked that color before Joanna Gaines painted her cabinets that color. Just throwing it out there.
Just saying.
Just saying.
You're on trend? Are you a trend setter?
I don't know. I do think that I'm going to paint the bottom of these off camera. Though.
Yeah, they need it. Is this just a
white?
Do you need that to be white still? Or?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay, I'm going to make a wash real quick.
Okay, I was going to say that if you need a clean brush, they're over there.
Nope. Just something to do a little wash with.
A little baby wash.
That's not salt wash. Okay, about a ½ inch of water in the bottom here.
It does leak through our drop cloth, and I do have to scrub it when we're not live.
All right, and then a dip of paint. Not going to dry this out. Dip it in the water. Okay, which is the top? Okay, this is the top. More water.
Now I'm going to seal these. The copper patina already has a sealer, the cottage color already has a sealer, but that first coat we laid down of the skeleton key doesn't. So I'm just gonna seal these up. It is gonna get a lot darker everywhere that there's not cottage color because that skeleton key is gonna get dark with the wax. So you're gonna get more contrast.
All right, so this is a little messy.
Is it a little messy? Mm-hmm. You're blending the paint a little too.
Yep, that's okay. It's like a really fun light green.
You know, I do the dry brushing and you do the washes. It's not that I can't do a wash, it's just kind of messy. And you're cleaner
really
with the
spilled.
mess.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, I'm definitely a bigger mess than you.
Okay, we got a little foamy because I had to do some brushing more than I was anticipating because that clay paint didn't have any sealer, so it soaked some of this white up and the water, but I think it's gonna turn out looking pretty cool. And it really kind of softens that green too.
So I don't think I'm gonna do a wash on the little wall pockets, but it will look similar. I'm just gonna use a white wax on those.
What it's doing is it's really picking up all the detail in these butterflies.
I'm using DIY's clear wax, and I'm actually using a Klingon PS10 paintbrush. I like the PS style brushes for waxing things that have lots of detail because it gets down in all the cracky doos.
Those are the Pointy Sisters.
The Pointy Sisters, PS is short for that.
Once I'm done with this, I'll come bring you a close-up. Are you gonna also, the copper was a good call. That looks good with the
They're gonna get dark wax too.
Oh, nice. Are you doing that right now?
Yep, that's why I'm getting the, I'm
Are you
laying
gonna do
down
anything
my
with my
wax.
llama?
Nope. I don't want to mess up your llama.
I needed you to dry brush it.
Oh no! Got wax on my new leggings. You wanted me to dry brush that for you?
Yeah, just dry brush.
I didn't know where you were headed with it.
It's got some texture.
Why don't you do a whitewash?
I could do a wash on the llama.
Making sure this is all down in all the cracks. All right, dark wax is coming next.
All right, we're gonna set that aside for just a moment.
Is it still filming? You want to double check?
Yeah, I think it is. I hope it is. Otherwise, we just did like 20 minutes of work and no one's on camera right now. Hello. All right, Jamie's gonna make me wash this llama. She's forcing me to do it.
I'm forcing you.
All right, I need a little more water though.
All right, I need something to wipe this back with. Whenever I'm doing dark wax, I gotta be ready.
Okay, back with more of the white linen. A dip in the wash. I think I'm gonna get more off. That was my problem last time, is I dipped it and then I was like, oh, I need more. Okay, gonna start at the head here. All right, more paint. Too much wash.
I like to use the JRV stencil brushes because I don't want to dip a big fatty wax brush in here because I don't want to do the dark wax everywhere. I'm going to get down in these cracks and then I'm going to wipe it back and then I'll work on the next section. I'm going to bring out the Death Star on the bottom here.
It's not a Death Star.
You can see it though, right? It actually just looks like tile.
All right, weigh in. Some of the black is starting to come through because this is so fresh and I put the wash on here.
I think it looks good.
But weigh in if you think the llama is cooler now or if you liked the black. It's okay, you won't hurt my feelings if you like the black better.
So I feel like that frame is cool, but it needs to be clear waxed and dark waxed. But that's okay, we can leave it as is for right now and then I'll wax it later. Because I think once we wax it, it'll bring all the details.
For sure, it needs sealed up. The clear wax and then the dark wax is gonna really make all of that detail pop and it'll tone back some of that oxidation look it has now. Like right now, it looks like it might have come straight out of like a trailer park from the 50s.
What?
The oxidation.
Oh.
You know how like those old trailers, you can like walk by them and if you brush up against them, you get like a big old white streak of whatever they were painted with?
I haven't had a lot of experience with that.
When I worked at the water company, there were a lot of old trailers that we serviced. There was a park there.
I mean, I lived in a trailer.
And we
that.
read all their meters. And if you brushed up against it going over to read their meter, you were basically like whatever side touched it. It's like this white powdery film.
Oh. Well, duly noted. I might have put too much dark on it, but I have to pull that off.
Okay, close up coming. All right, focus. See if you can see some of that texture. Oh, there you go. You can get some of that texture there.
That looks good. When you clear wax it, you're gonna get more contrast.
Yep, it'll make that skeleton key really pop out.
Do you wanna show them one of these candlesticks up close?
Yeah.
While you're up there. And then you can finish up your little art project there. But you might wanna roll back that so you don't get any paint on your butterflies you're gonna put in the middle.
Jami did a great job finishing these.
Thank you. I mean, I painted a few candlesticks.
And now it's a complete set. And the piece on the bottom has a similar detail and it really shows now.
I did notice that like when I decided to bring them together, I was like, oh yeah, that'll look good together. Some of my decisions aren't completely random. Some of them kind of are.
Some of them are a little random. All right, I don't want to squish the butterflies because they legitimately are still pretty fresh. Where'd my cardboard little backer I cut out go? Okay, here we go. And the scissors are over here. We're about to bring this home. If you guys have been waiting a long time to see these finished projects, we usually don't finish. We usually just end and we're like, we'll show you later. So hopefully the extended time.
I think we can still edit this down to an hour.
Yeah, there's a good chance. So this, I think I can go right down the middle here. Some are moths and caterpillars, and some are butterflies and caterpillars. I had a little pencil out. Where did that go?
Like this is missing a bunch of clear wax in here.
I put that pencil up.
What pencil? I haven't seen a pencil.
It's okay, I'll grab another one. Oh, I did, I put it up.
If you happen to get any dark wax where you don't want it, you can use that clear wax kind of like an eraser. But because we laid down clear wax first, it just gives us so much more control over the dark wax. Keeps it from getting too muddy. Now, if you're like, you know what, that's a little dark. You're not technically supposed to do this, but I have been known to come back and add more white dry brush. I'm not going to because I actually really love
the worst thing that's going to happen is it'll get chippy and flake off in a few places and be even better.
Yeah, so I feel like that's all right.
All right, don't smash the butterflies. Get them in here straight. Oh, got some extra paint on the inside here. That's on me. I painted that.
We're gonna paint the back of that too.
Okay.
I've been painting the back of, I'm talking about the back of the frame.
That's fine. But I'm gonna show them the butterflies.
Oh no, I'm just telling the people of YouTube and Facebook that I'm going to paint the back of that.
Gotcha. That's all poofy. We may need to decoupage this.
Is it not sticking down flat?
Well, it's just like, let me just,
I think it's too big.
Just a hair more.
I'll take your llama and I'll clear wax it while I'm waiting.
Okay.
I like that some of the black is kind of peeking through.
We may need to decoupage this down. If we do that, I'm not going to do it on camera here, but we'll paint this cardboard piece white. That way it doesn't show cardboard through, because it'll darken it up significantly if we don't paint it white and we just decoupage over the brown cardboard. Yeah, it probably needs decoupaged on there.
I just made a mess. But that's okay, you can show it to them so that way they get the idea.
Yeah. Oh, and I put it in upside down, of course.
I'm gonna distress this a little bit. I want some of that black to come through.
You want more of the black?
Well, so because this is hot, because you heat gunned it.
Oh,
so if I just push a little bit hard while the wax goes on, I can pull out some of the paint.
Oh, I got that one in good. Maybe no need to...
All right, you can show them your llama up close.
All right, so here's that frame.
It will look a little different once it's waxed because the apiary will get darker, but I think it turned out pretty good. And then I'll add some dark wax on the butterflies.
We got the 2 butterflies we added with the IOD molds, and then this is our JRV paper. This is a small version of it. This is not available to the public, so I mean,
comment below. Let us know if you want the small version of this.
Cross your fingers for the small version, and depending on how many people say, yes, I need that in my life, because you could do a ton of small stuff like this. I still have a whole other side.
We're trying to find, we're doing a bunch of like R&D right now with the smaller papers. We're finding like manufacturers of the paper. We're trying out different papers, different print types. Zeb, are you going to show them the canvas print?
Yeah, this is actually printed on canvas. The printer does some pretty cool things. So
So it's super fun.
So hopefully some fun new things coming your way soon. We haven't, like, nothing's set in stone, but little sneak peek there that we weren't planning on necessarily showing, but we had a project for it.
So when we're all done, I'll line it all up and Zeb can do a pan on it. If you like this video and you want to buy these products or any of our thrifted finds, visit JamiRayVintage.com. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Bye, you guys. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week.